I didn't think it was leukemia or a sign of leukemia because I had bled for so long. I just thought it was a bad period. So something else that I thought was explaining my fatigue was I actually had a period for 3 months before my diagnosis. And so because of how much I was bleeding, I thought that the tiredness was due to my low iron levels at the time. And I mean, having a period for a week or 2 weeks can be draining enough, but having it for 3 months nonstop just made me really, really tired, and it was also really difficult to deal with. And that's why I was repeatedly going back to my GP to ask why this was happening. I found it really, really hard to understand what was going on with my body. My body was constantly changing, and I was just losing so much blood at the time that I had no energy. And also the menstrual cycle is something that you don't feel comfortable talking about so openly to people. And apart from my husband, not many people knew what I was going through at the time. And so that's why I repeatedly tried to tell my GP that I knew something was wrong and that it's not normal to be losing so much blood.
I suppose the bleeding didn't really flag up as a huge concern because I've always had heavy periods. They've always been painful. So I didn't think to myself, oh, I need to see somebody about this. And again, because that can be a symptom of the menopause, I just thought it's just another symptom of the menopause. I'll get this checked out in a few months and just keep an eye on it. But I was bleeding a lot and it was draining me. I had no energy. It was adding to the fatigue.
I started having really irregular periods, and I went to the doctors and they just said, oh, it's probably just early menopause and everything. Don't worry, you're still having your periods, don't worry about it. You know, you could be coming in sync with your daughter, and it's just one of them things. But it was abnormal. It was an abnormal phase for me to be bleeding for that long. And I couldn't relate to anything because my mum had to have a hysterectomy, so she was forced into the menopause, and my nan's not around anymore, so I couldn't sort of backtrack it or anything like that. Never, ever, ever in a million years thought it'd turn out to be this.
I normally had heavy periods anyway, so I was sort of prepared for it to be heavy. But I mean, this was really unusual. Sort of, I bled through pretty much everything, and sort of, I got to a point that I was scared of sort of sitting down or moving around, really. You know, I sort of reasoned it away and went, well, stress can affect it. So obviously moving to university, I am under stress. So it's going to be a bit heavier, but it lasted way too long. And it was at that point I sort of thought, well, this isn't really normal, but I'll give it a few more days because it was an abnormal situation for me. But once again, looking back at all of these times, I think, well, that wasn't normal and I should have gone to the GP sooner. But you reason it away. You don't want something to be wrong with you.